so we're writing inequalities, and this one requires a lot of common sense compared to the other things that we've done in math class. So we have the 4 inequalities, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some keywords so that you can know when it has that keyword in the problem, you can know which inequality to use. Alright, so these two are very, very different. They're literally at two ends of the spectrum. One is less than, one is greater. Okay, but there's some murky water in between these two. Okay, is everyone know what I mean by that? Like that's what you have to think about, which one of these between the two it is. But these are two different, complete opposite ends of the spectrum. So this one is less than. It would be something like below or smaller than or fewer. For this one means greater than. So anytime it's above something, it's more than something. It's bigger than. That's how we know the two differences, okay? So these two hopefully will be clear when you read the problem if something needs to be more or less than. Now, what's most important when you think about these two between these is that in these two, whatever amount we're talking about, it cannot be equal to. And these can. That's what makes the difference between these two. These can be equal to, and these cannot be equal to. So you need to tell the difference between the two. But again, that involves some kind of thinking and what that problem is talking about. So these, it cannot be equal to. These cannot be equal to the amount that they're talking about in the problem. These cannot be equal to that amount. So these are bigger or less than a certain amount, but they cannot be equal to that amount. Now, if they can be equal, then you pick the other inequality. Got it, Jamarian? So we'll do some practice with this, figuring out which one is which. One way, like the way I'm showing you to do it right now, is to look for certain keywords so you know what they're talking about. Alright, so those are the keywords for, oh, there's my pen, less than or equal to. Now, if it's less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to, when it's less than, it's kind of the opposite. At most, and something like a word that would mean the same thing as a budget. Have this amount of money, this total amount of money you have, or this is the limit, or anything that like budget, that's the most that you can spend. Limit, a total, that's how you know, like the total means that you have to spend under that amount. The greater than or equal to is, you would think it's the opposite. Minimum, at least. That means you have to spend more than. When you've got a limit, you've got a budget, you've got a total amount of money, you have to stay under that amount. Less than. Remember, what makes these different between these can be equal to. That's the sense that I was talking about. You're going to have to think through a problem and figure out which one of that it's going to be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move Jamarian to this group because we're going to need to be in groups. B, Elvis, and A, Nazelle. B, C, B, Lila, C, B, Jamarian, and C. So what you do, right, to please read the problem to your group. If you are B, I'm going to ask you to find the key word, and then I'm going to have you raise your hand once you found the key word in this problem. And then C is going to further inequality is needed for the problem. So if you're A, please go ahead and move Jamarian so you can be in your group. If you're A, your group. He's A. Elvis is A. She's B, and you're C. B. Then I'm going to have you pick what you think the key words are in this problem. That will help us determine the inequality. Once you're done, raise your hand. I'm going to call on all the B's and we'll see what y'all got. Got it, Lila? What did you get, Lila? What do you think is the key word? More than? And I heard Jamarian say the same thing. What did you get, Leonardo? Yeah. And both of them kind of would tell you the same amount. Yeah. No more than. So what I'm going to have the C's do is to, you're just the spokeswoman for the, so spokesman. So which inequality do you think it is? You're going to decide that in your group, and then when I'm going to call on you, I'm going to write down what everybody. So the C is just the spokesman. Which inequality do you think you would use for? That's what C is with, which inequality, and you're just going to tell me in about a minute or so. So you're going to have to decide in your group, and the spokesman is C. Do you all have an answer, Jacob? Do you all have an answer, Kendrick? Less than or equal to? So Kendrick's group, less than. Jacob? Copycat, just kidding. What did you get, Winwood? Copycat, just kidding. So a lot of people in first period picked this one, greater than or equal to. But and somebody almost did in this class, but it says no more than that amount. So it's the opposite. That means you want to be spending less. So it has to be one of these two, because so this is how you can tell the difference. This is the part of common sense. Can you spend $33? Equal to $33. You can. He just doesn't want to spend more than. So it is, y'all were correct, it is less than or equal to. What you do is I'm going to have you copy the problem here, just what's in bold, and then so this problem, the inequality already is 4x, because it says 4 per bottle, so 4x plus 2y less than or equal to 33. That's the correct inequality. That's what you would have chosen on IXL. For all of these problems, it's going to be some number x plus some number y, your inequality, and then whatever. Okay. So it's not going to be, different than that. That's what we're doing. It's just